The wind came down from the red mesas like a warning the morning. Caleb Rourke found the Apache woman at the edge of his ranch, standing still among the sage, as if the land itself had decided to speak. Caleb had lived alone for 12 years, since the drought took his parents and the war took his brother, and solitude had settled into him like dust into floorboards. He was known across the territory as a fair man, who kept his word and his distance, and that distance was the only reason he was still alive. The woman did not beg when he raised his rifle in habit, nor did she challenge him. She simply met his eyes with a calm so steady it unsettled him more than fear ever could. She said her name was Nita, her voice low, careful, shaped by grief and resolve, and she told him her people had scattered after soldiers burned their winter camp. She had walked for days, she said, carrying the memory of elders and the future of children yet unborn, and when she reached his fence line, she knew the land would decide whether she lived. Caleb lowered the rifle, not because of pity, but because something old in him recognized the same stubborn loneliness he carried in her eyes. He offered water first, then shelter for the night, insisting it was temporary, that she would move on when her strength returned, because that was how his life worked. Nothing stayed. Nita accepted without gratitude or entitlement, working before resting, mending a broken latch, sweeping the porch with movements that spoke of discipline rather than servitude. At supper, she listened more than she spoke, learning the ranch the way a tracker learns a trail. And when she finally told him her purpose, it was not the crude demand the rumors painted, Apache women with, but a quiet truth shaped by loss and hope. Her people believed survival was carried not only by blood, but by shared ground, by children who learned both stories and honored both skies. "Let your lineage sprout in me," she said, not as a seduction, but as a pledge of continuity, a bridge offered across a chasm of history. And Caleb felt the words strike him like rain on dry earth. He refused at first, with the bluntness of a man afraid of wanting anything again, insisting she could stay only until she healed, only as a guest, only under his roof and rules. Days passed, then weeks, and the land itself seemed to test them. Cattle strayed, storms broke fences, riders passed too close with questions sharp as knives. Through it all, Nita worked beside him, teaching him which plants eased fever, which songs calmed frightened horses, which silences were sacred. She never pressed her offer again, never diminished herself to earn a place, and that restraint carved deeper than any plea. At night, Caleb lay awake listening to the creak and the distant drum of thunder, realizing the ranch no longer felt like a grave but like a field waiting for seed. When soldiers came asking about Apache stragglers, he told the truth shaped by courage. He had seen no enemies, only a woman who worked harder than any man and asked only to be allowed to stay. The choice cost him neighbors' trust and bought him danger, but it also stripped away the last of his excuses. One evening, as the sun burned the sky copper and the land breathed its ancient patience, Caleb admitted aloud what he had denied for years, that survival without connection was just a slower kind of dying. He did not promise what he could not foresee, did not claim ownership of a future he did not understand. But he told Nita she could stay not as a favor, not as a bargain, but as a partner in keeping the land alive. If this story of courage, restraint, and quiet transformation is moving you, remember to subscribe to the channel now, because stories like this only grow stronger when shared. The seasons turned with the deliberation of a judge weighing mercy, and with each passing month the ranch changed in ways Caleb had never planned, yet could no longer imagine living without. Nita taught him that lineage was not forged in a single act but in 1,000 choices, how to greet the dawn, how to honor the dead without chaining the living to sorrow, how to teach a child the names of stars in 2 languages, so they would never feel lost under any sky. When danger came, it came honestly, riding on the back of men who feared what they did not own and despised what they could not erase. And Caleb learned that protecting a home meant standing taller than his past. He stood with Nita before a council of settlers, speaking plainly about work shared and peace earned, refusing to let lies paint her as a threat. And when the council wavered, it was the ranch itself that testified healthy herds, healed fences, trade done fairly, a place where hands of different colors broke bread without bloodshed. Love grew between them slowly, respectfully, like a river carving stone, never named until it was undeniable. And when they finally chose a future together, it was not claimed by conquest but by consent and ceremony, a union witnessed by the land and blessed by elders who had survived long enough to believe again. Children came in time, not as symbols but as people, taught to ride and read, to listen before speaking, to remember that strength without kindness is just noise. Caleb watched those children run the fields and realized his brothers' laughter echoed in theirs. That loss could be honored without being repeated, that a lineage could sprout not from possession but from purpose. The ranch became a place travelers spoke of in lowered voices, not out of fear but respect, a testament to what could happen when courage chose cooperation over cruelty. Years later, when gray threaded Caleb's beard and Nita's hair held the shine of wisdom, they stood together at the fence line where they first met, the wind still a warning and a promise, and they knew the land had decided well. Their story did not end with triumph, but with stewardship, a reminder that the Wild West was shaped not only by guns and graves, but by choices to stay, to listen, to build something that outlived anger. As the years folded into one another, the ranch transformed into something no map could fully explain, a living testament to patience, courage, and shared responsibility. Caleb no longer measured time by scars or seasons of loss, but by moments of learning, the way the children listened when elders spoke, the way disputes ended with work instead of weapons, the way laughter returned to a land once ruled by silence. Nita became the keeper of balance, reminding everyone that survival was strongest when memory walked beside mercy. She taught the young ones that lineage was not a claim of ownership, but a duty to protect what came after, soil, water, and one another. When traders and officials arrived with doubts sharpened by old prejudices, they found a community that answered calmly, united by fairness and proof of honest labor. Drought tested them again, but shared stores and shared resolve carried them through. Storms broke fences, yet hands from every background rebuilt them together. At dusk, when the sky burned amber and the land breathed easy, Caleb understood that his name would matter less than the choices he made daily. Standing with Nita at the edge of the fields, he felt peace not as an ending, but as a continuation. What they had grown was deeper than blood. It was a legacy of respect that would endure. If this powerful journey moved you, subscribe to the channel and stay with us for more unforgettable Wild West stories.